Hi, this is me in Albion, a game I can honestly say I never thought I'd play, but here I am. I'd almost given up on MMOs. We are definitely in an MMO drought. I'd played ESO, but the lag and ping killed me. I played Black Desert, but the grind. I played WoW, but wasn't wowed. I loved the journey, but missed PvP that was baked into a game. I played New World. Well, you know, the devs kind of killed that one. When I played New World though, I fell in love with two aspects of the game. I've always loved PvP, so of course I loved the PvP in New World, but I also fell in love with doing an Iron Man, where I gathered and crafted everything in the game, and I could only use what I found, what I crafted myself. That made the adventure really amazing. Everything I collected meant something, even if it was rubbish. The problem was that the PvP, the PvE, and the Iron Man felt so disconnected. It definitely felt like an either-or thing. And also, the devs. So I gave up, thought that was me for MMOs, but a little while ago, those cravings started to come back, got a little stronger, that little MMO itch that we obviously all have, that itch to grind, to PvP, and then I thought, you know what, why don't I try Albion? It's the only MMO I haven't played. And I was like, oh, but that top-down view, those graphics, it's a mobile game. So I thought to myself, I'll tell you what, I'll try it for 24 hours, see how I feel. And then, holy fuck, why did I not play this game before? The graphics were stylized and they grew on me real fast to the point that I absolutely love them now. The top down I got over surprisingly quickly and I don't even care about it anymore. And the foundations of this game are insane. I get to play an Iron Man. I get to do PvP, I get to do PvE, and they're all completely and utterly connected. No item in the game exists having not been created by another player. Even treasure chests that you'll find in dungeons offer items that the game itself bought off existing players that had crafted that item. So gathering and running around the world actually matters. An Iron Man matters. And who are the biggest consumers? PvPers, because those nut jobs die all the time trying to show how cool and tough they are. And who profits? The people who make the gear, like me. And if I want the best resources, I need to go into the red zones or the black zones and risk becoming one of the victims of those ego-filled nutters from trying to kill me for my loot. So it's all completely connected, and the risk of losing everything even makes the most menial of tasks, like going into a zone and gathering, the most exciting of all. This was the game I've been looking for this entire time, and it's been here for years. And so join me from day one, where I try to turn the new Camo Chameleon, the Albion Camo Chameleon, into a merchant king. I'm gonna PvP, I'm gonna PvE, I'm gonna gather my little ass off. We're gonna do it all. Here we go. Okay, well, I arrived naked on the island with just a thong. I have actually played this game for a week beforehand because I needed to decide if I was going to play it, but I'm bought in now, so I kind of know what I'm doing, so I escaped to the tutorial. So right now, the first set is just to make my crafting equipment. Basically, you need these tools to be able to gather everything out in the world, and if I'm going to be making my gear, etc., you need these tools. This is sort of the first thing you need to do. So I needed to collect some birch wood and some stone to make these. Splendid. And so that's what I did. So now I can start focusing on actually getting some clothes and a weapon. But what weapon? Well, for my weapon, I needed to go chop down some wood, which is the resources, get myself a little bit of cotton, and then I convert everything, just like every other MMO. You convert the wood into planks, and then I finally get my first weapon, which is a novice's bow. I equip it, and then I have to decide which skill I'm going to use. I pick Deadly Shot because that's the one that does the most damage. And now, at least I can kill. I may be naked, but I am a deadly, lethal killing machine. The aim of something with really good aim, and I am ready to absolutely dominate in Albion Online. Well, I may want some armor. So the next thing is to get all that leather, convert it into refined leather, and now I can go make myself some clothes.
Of course.
I need to pick my skills, so I've gone for the Hunter's Hood, which retaliates damage back at the enemies when they attack me. I've gone for the Assassin's Jacket, which gives me invisibility, because who doesn't like a little bit of stealth? And I've gone for Hunter Boots, which has a movement speed boost for getting away, whilst also reducing your cooldowns, which I thought was pretty damn good. And then as you can see here, the final piece of the kit, I make myself a bag and I make myself a cape. And now I am a fully functioning Albion ready to leave the town and actually enter into the real world character. So I've been able to do everything in the camp so far, and so I've just been like studying all the items that I've made, and then I finally make it to journeyman level, which is essentially a tier 3. So in Albion, everything comes in tiers. Tier 3 is pretty much the first kind of I'm ready to go in the world tier. So then I'm ready to make some tier 3 tools, my gear up to journeyman, and then I can kind of start my life. And what is a merchant in Albion without a mule? A vehicle, a vessel to carry my goods. So I get myself a novice's mule. I put that in, and there he is. Now I'm going to be able to carry all sorts of goods around as I gather. And for the first time, I go out into the wilds of Matlock, which is like, I don't know, grassy plains. Or no, it's sort of like Scotland with kind of like hills and rock faces and lots of grass and flowers. So I head on out there to start collecting all my mats to make all the journeyman gear. Right, so each of the resources, like this is a chestnut tree, it's a tier 3 tree. And the one you saw previously was a tier 2 tree, so you need to be able to and then basically the tier 3 stuff's all green. You can see those rocks there, they're green. So essentially, I'm trying to collect all the tier 3 resources so I can make my journeyman gear. I don't even think with my tools I can get tier 4 resources, so hence the reason you want to progress. So after a good solid 30 minutes of running around and collecting a bunch of resources, I finally make my way back from the grass to the desert as I come back into the town on my trusty mule. And then I've got to convert everything, so it's just a raw resource. So I make myself, so you make some birch planks, and the birch planks allow you to use the chestnut to create chestnut planks. And now I am ready to make myself some journeyman tools, but only to my surprise, oh, I can make the tools. I can make the tools. I just can't use them because I haven't got enough experience, which is why these are in red, because I haven't got enough experience with the tools yet to be able to use them. So basically I come back out because the best way to get that experience is by using the tools. So I've come out here and I've been collecting ore and I'm breaking up the rocks for the stone cutting, and this is where I get my learning points. So you can use your learning points to speed up. So you can see here I'm at 20% of the quarry. So if I use my learning points, I can then just get the rest of it. But you only have so much learning points you can use. a little bit every day because I've paid for the monthly premium. So I get a little bit every day. You really want to only use them for gathering. You don't want to use them for anything else because it's the hardest thing to level. But I do use the learning points, and now I could finally use my journeyman stone cutting tool. So then it's just a matter of finishing off the other ones. So now I've got the stone cutting, I go do the ore, I get that learning point. Now I can use my journeyman pickaxe to get the ore, and I can use my journeyman stone cutting to get the stone. So now I just need to get my skinning, and I need to get my sickle up, which does the flowers. That's like linen, but I'm in the wrong zone for that, my friends. So it's out to the desert for me, out into the deserty, it's sort of like the African Savannah where everything wants to bite your ankles. But it's kind of cool. I like the rustic feel of it. Rustic, kind of just that, I don't know, old, dried up desert feel. I've got a bit of a thing about deserts and MMOs. So off I go to get my other skills up. I get my harvesting. And I get my skinning. So now I can use every tool that I just made before at journeyman level. There you go, look, they're all green, no more red. So I don't need the old tools anymore, so I sell them at the market. Now this is where you can see, so when I go to sell something, you'll see that it has sell and then it has sell order. Now the sell, you can see here, it says I'm such bad eyesight, 59% below average. And so that will always sell for cheaper than a sell order. When you're doing a sell order, you're selling it to players, so it'll always be a higher price. The sell is when you're selling it to the game, and when you sell it to the game, that's where the game will put it into like treasure chests and stuff throughout the world that other players will get as loot when they find it. And that's why every item you come across has been crafted by someone. Isn't that cool? Isn't that just this cool feedback loop? I love that. But because I'm not going to get much for my sell order, I just sell it because I want them out of my bags. Because I want the space in my bags to put other stuff in, like my crafting materials. Well, I've got my journeyman tools all sorted out, so what's next? Well, I think you know where this is going to head. It's the journeyman bow. So I need to go get some more wood, some chestnuts, to refine the wood into chestnut trees, and then I can make my journeyman bow. So I travel past all these like crappy white birch trees because I've already got plenty of them in the bank, all refined and everything. So if you look at the little map down the bottom, usually all the chestnut trees are on the other side of the river. So that's where I head to get the chestnut trees. Or here's one here. So I'll chop that down, ready to make my bow. So it's chop, chop, more chop, more chop. And on my chopping missions, I come up here and I see this guy. He looks like he's in a little bit of spot of bother fighting this guy. So as a noble person that I am, I get off to help him. But looking at it in hindsight, I think he'd probably just fought a lot of people and his health was a bit low. But hey, the thought that counts. You know how embarrassing it can be to die to mobs, so just thought I'd give him a helping hand. Chop, chop, chop. And what I think is cool is that each zone has its own little like resource creatures. So like right here, because we're in Matlock, it's kind of the zone where there's mostly stones, so you get these little zone creatures that I have to fight. And then when you kill them, you get to hack their bodies apart and get like a whole bunch of stone, which is kind of awesome. So this is where Albion kind of messes with you a little bit. So I have the resources to make the journeyman's bow, only to realize that I can't make the journeyman's bow because I don't have the experience in the crafting yet to be able to make the bow. So I get my birch wood, I make some novice bows, which increases my experience at creating bows. I then break down those bows to study them, and now I level up. So now I can make the journeyman bow. And so I get that, and then I use all those chestnut planks that I just made, and I make myself a journeyman bow. Put on the same skills I had last time, and now I just got to do my armor And, oh, and then I'll have to make the cape and the bag, and then I'm all journeymaned out. Luckily, after checking all my resources in the bank, it looks like I actually have enough to be able to make the gear that I need. But like right now, I don't have to go out and collect any more. So I come up, and then I get on the armor, and then I'm able to make myself the journeyman hunter's hood. Boom. Handyman, assassin's jacket, and the boots, all in journeyman, and I put them on. And now all I need to worry about is the cape and the bag, and I'm good to go. And who said hard work doesn't pay off? I have the resources to also make the bag and the cape. So here we go, friends. I am now full journeyman and all my gear. I've made it to the first sort of proper tier. So I think now it's time to head off to the main city. It's time to leave this crappy little town. Now that I'm a big important journeyman, I'm going to make myself make my way to the big city of Brightwatch and start becoming the merchant I was meant to be. I mean, how am I supposed to make money in little towns like that? I need to be in a city with markets, proper markets, with people to buy. So off I go. Brightwatch, here I come. The Big Apple, so to speak. And when I'm there, I just sit amongst the many people running around me, just soaking it in. The excitement, the smells, the noise. Brightwatch. I mean, Bridgewatch. Go to join a faction, but she's like, go away, weakling. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll come back later then, I guess.
Bridgewatch sees everything.
My new home. So I put everything I've got, everything the mule was able to carry, I put into the bank and I set down my roots. This is where I'm gonna be for the foreseeable future. Now, I also need to set up a headquarters for my merchant empire. So I buy an island. A desert island, but it's quite nice. And so I go to set up my first, the beginnings, the infrastructure of my first base. And so with that in mind, I buy a house, because in a house, I'm able to have laborers sit in the house. So I build my little house. So I build a little watering fountain, because God knows in the desert we need some water. And then I'm going to go off, get some stone brick blocks to build my house. Well, I'm very committed and economical, and that's why I'm going to become a very wealthy merchant, because I'm collecting stones here that I can later convert into stone blocks, rather than just buying them for pretty cheap at the marketplace. But every penny saved is a penny earned, as they say. And on my way back with all this journeyman armor, I see like this boss, not a boss, but he's like this really like a powerful guy that can give you some good loot in the zone. So I decided to take him on with my new journeyman bow, and the fight ensues. So I've made my way back to Bridgewatch. These are the markets, a map of the markets. It's such a nice layout. And so you've got bloody people that make stone, which I'm coming to right now, but you've got all sorts. You've got the blacksmiths, you've got the lumbering people, you've got cooks. But me, I just want a bit of limestone block so I can make my house. So I head to my island, finally, with all the resources that I need. And there it is. Boom! Now I've got my tiny little house slash tent. And what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put in a laborer. You can hire laborers, you can see here. And like so I'm going to hire a prospector, which is basically the miner. And then what you'll do is they'll give you a book. And then you go out and you mine and it fills up the book. And then you come back with the book. See, there's the books there. And then you'll come back and you'll give the guy the book, and then he goes and mines and stuff as well. So it's like this passive income, which is quite nice. So there's the labourer there. So it takes about 30 minutes for him to kind of set himself up. You know, he's got to set up shop. So there's the books that you buy. So you buy one of them. I think I'm going to buy a trophy book, because in this case he's going to go out and collect a trophy which he needs to be happy, and the more happier he is, the more he'll collect for you when he collects the ore. And so in order to make him happy, I also need to make him some furniture. I need to make him a bed, which you can see here, and I also need to make him a table, because the guy needs to eat and the guy needs to sleep. But I am missing the resources for that. I was able to make the table, but not the bed. So I put his little comfy bed down. There it goes. It's not much at the moment. It's just like a bunch of feathers on the ground. But hey, look, it's better than sleeping on the ground. And this is going to ramp up fast. And you can see there, that's his happiness. You can see that his happiness has increased a little bit because he's got a bed. But I still really need to make that table, otherwise the guy can't eat. So I needed some linen to make the table. So I go out into the desert and I'm gathering again. I also need some wood. So I head on to that little grassy zone that we were in earlier and collect some of the basic birch logs. So now this guy's going to have all his furniture. I come into the small town that I was at earlier and I make all my, convert all my mats. The reason I'm doing it here is because it's cheaper. At the town it actually costs money, so I kind of sneak past here, convert everything that I need to. So here I'm making some birch logs, and then I'll have enough to go back to the house. And I'll go to the tool maker, sorry, and make him a table. And with that done, it's just a situation of where shall I put it? Well, in a little tent like this, there ain't too many options. There you go, friend. Now he's got his table and his bed. We can sit down and eat dinner together. And that's it. The humble beginnings. Only a small little tent right now, but it is the start of a trade. Soon to be trade empire, I assure you. We're going to be building a merchant king. A man who travels through the red zones and the black zones, fighting off gankers, making himself a lot of money along the way. A true adventurer. Alright, so I go to fill up that book. So here I'm getting some ore. And then you'll see I click on the book, you'll see that it's slowly filling up with every little bit of ore I get. And so I want to fill that up. See how it goes up a little bit? So I'm trying to fill that up, and then I'm going to return it back to the labourer. And then he'll go out and collect some ore. So it's like free ore. Okay, and with that ore collected, and the book full, you just come up to this guy here, and you grab the full book. See how it's closed now? Now he's going to be going and getting a trophy, which he'll then come back with a little trophy, which will just make him happier. The happier they are, the more they collect. So I give him that. I say, he's going to bring back the trophy. I accept it. And then off he goes on his little journey. His own little ore collecting journey. And so what I do basically is I'm going to get a bunch of these laborers as I start to level up the tent into more of a house. And then I will, every time I go crafting, you know, like if I say I need to go mining, then I'll just bring a mining book with me. Or if I need to go leathering, then I'll just bring a skinning book with me. And then I'll just keep giving it to those laborers. And then it's basically like free money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're all about here. Trying to build this merchant empire. All the input, all the little income streams we can get, the better.
Rocks, 2 blocks.
And with that, friends, I just go and I craft, I refine all my materials into their final form. Just end the night cruising through the markets, refining all the resources that I've got. So I hope you've enjoyed this first episode. I've gone into quite a bit of detail because I felt like I just wanted to explain it. I don't know where this adventure is gonna go. I hope you enjoy it. I'm loving Albion. Oh man, it's everything I wanted. So it's just such an awesome game. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if people are going to enjoy just watching me gather. Hopefully I can turn this into like this really amazing story that everyone gets into. If not, then even if there's 5 people watching it that enjoy it, I guess that's cool as well. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up there, and I will see you soon
for episode 2.